Welcome back. Steve Price with you. Mark Knight coming up in a second. Well, I wanted to mention this tonight. There's been obviously ongoing concerns. The government's huge taxes on tobacco is now driving people to go and find shonky cigarettes, illegal cigarettes. Even the crackdown on vapes, I'm told, is driving people back into illegal tobacco. Now, tobacco tax currently sits at around $1.40 per cigarette stick. Well, I want to show you something. I've just returned from Japan, and I've got to show you this photo. Cigarettes in a convenience store there, and you can see it on the screen, are only a few dollars for a pack of 20. Now, as I said, $3.60 for a pack of 20 compared with up to $50 for the same packet of cigarettes here. It's crazy. Joining me now is former federal police officer who helped set up the Australian Border Force's tobacco strike team, Rohan Pike. He's also managing director of Rohan Pike Consulting, which provides services to public and private sectors. Rohan, welcome to the program. I mean, that example I gave of last week in Hokkaido in Japan, no wonder the crooks want to load up containers and bring illegal cigarettes into the country.
They certainly do, Steve. Yeah, the price has a huge impact and is the primary driver of our illicit, certainly cigarette market here. That lever may have been effective 20 years ago in reducing smoking rates in Australia, but in the last 15 years or so, that lever's just been pulled far too far. And it's a no-brainer that smokers are going to be attracted to $10 packet as opposed to a $50 packet, as you say. So now in Australia, criminals are actually selling more cigarettes than the legitimate companies are selling. So it's over 50%. And of course, the vaping illicit rate is up over 95%. So that's a disaster. Australian tobacco policy is basically an embarrassment on the international stage.
Yeah, it's completely broken. I remember interviewing former Victorian Police Commissioner Shane Patton, who told me, well, you know, of course the Crims are going to try and import illegal cigarettes because if they get caught, they'll get a bit of a slap on the wrist instead of what would happen to them if they were caught importing MDMA or cocaine or other illegal drugs.
Yeah, that's right. The legislation regime is all wrong. It's stuck in the past and needs to be updated to reflect the criminality and the seriousness of these offences.
Where is most of this illegal tobacco coming from, Rohan?
Well, the cigarettes come from places such as the UAE, from Cambodia, from all over Asia, really. And the vapes are mainly coming out of China now. So, yes, at least 95% of the vaping market is illegal Chinese vapes.
And how much of this is Border Force interrupting? How much are they seizing and how much is getting through? I mean, I know the figures are probably almost impossible to address, but there's more getting in than getting caught, I presume.
Yeah, that's right. By their own admissions at Senate estimates and various hearings, they suggest that they're stopping 25%. And if they're stopping that much, then there's an awful lot coming in. As you would have seen yesterday, they've been seizing record numbers of both cigarettes and vapes, and rightly they've done their job, but they're simply not resourced to stop everything coming through. And when the criminals bombard the border, there is going to be a large percentage of the products getting through the border, and it's the problem of lack of enforcement post-border, which is really letting us down.
Yeah, well, that's what I wanted to ask you about. I mean, it's illegal, and yet any vape shop that you walk into on any main street anywhere in Australia, and you say, have you got some chop tobacco that I can buy off you, mate? And he'll probably, if he doesn't believe you're a police officer, say, yeah, sure, how much do you want?
Yeah, no, it's embarrassing that it's so easy, and this is how the criminals distribute their illegal product. And yeah, it's just an embarrassment that there are so many shops blatantly selling this illegal product all over the cities and country towns. That definitely needs to be addressed. There are some measures being taken place in states like South Australia and Queensland, but New South Wales and Victoria, where the bulk of the problem is, have been very slow to catch up. So Of course, they're casting blame back on the federal government, which is fair, given that it's their policy that has caused this mess in the first place. But they're wanting to be recompensed for the outlay and the extra resources that are needed to fix it in their own states.
Yeah, we have a tobacco shop torched every night of the week. Rohan, thank you very much for joining us and explaining that. We'll keep an eye on that situation.